Bitcoin is still dumping towards the downside due to some very interesting tensions. But is this the time to worry about Bitcoin? Or are there some big opportunities coming right now? We will dive into major trade setups that are forming right now. We can see when we want to scale in Bitcoin and what we don't want to see on Bitcoin, because then a further move towards the downside will happen. But the higher time frame we're going to discuss is still telling us that this small dump is a really good opportunity for Bitcoin. We will dive into that and way more in today's video. But first of all, I would really appreciate you guys to follow me over on X and subscribe over on my YouTube channel and like this daily update video if you love those daily update videos. And let's dive right away into the content, because what we actually saw, and let's look at the price action of Bitcoin. We are seeing some tensions on the macroeconomics here, which is pretty normal, but Bitcoin is reacting pretty heavily on it since yesterday. What have we seen? We have been rejecting this level on the top side towards the downside, and this is a really interesting level in the market, because if we broke this level towards the upside with a clear gain and with a clear open and close above, then this was a really interesting gain in the market, and then we would probably go further towards the upside. But as we have seen, we did not open and close above this red line, which means we are rejecting that line, and that is exactly what we have been seeing towards the downside. Now the question is, do we need to worry about the Bitcoin price? Let's dive right away into that, because if we can see, we rejected the top side, and that's not the best signal on the lower time frame we could see. But if you look at the pure structure we are seeing right now, we create a low, higher high here, a lower high, a higher low, and a higher high once again. And right now we are looking for a higher low once again. Do we need to worry? No, because if we look at this very interesting support zone, we are currently at the lower side of this support zone. Unless we are not breaking this level towards the downside, this could act as a really good support and a buy opportunity for Bitcoin. Also aligned with that, we are at a really interesting point in the market, because we are currently getting tested by the low here, the higher low we are seeing right now. And this is a really interesting point in the market, because if we break this low towards the downside, and with that I mean a candle open and a candle close below this level, we are breaking and this support zone on the lower side, and we are breaking the structure towards the downside. And if we see that, we will probably see further moves towards the downside for Bitcoin. Right now we are not seeing any signals of a loss yet, so this is a really interesting moment for Bitcoin. What to see is we need to see a support for some bullish structure towards the downside. We need some buy orders getting in the market here. Otherwise, it could end up a little bit worse for Bitcoin. If we manage to stay above this low, trend is still towards the upside, and we are getting supported by the lower side here. If we lose it towards the downside, we need to see some more downside for Bitcoin, and we'll probably see that coming as well. So right now we are at a very interesting point in the market for Bitcoin, to be really fair. If we also look at this chart, I've been using this chart for over weeks here. What we can see is we broke towards the upside, then we immediately rejected towards the downside. Now, this low is pretty important, like I said already. Yesterday, I was in a trade to trade this higher low towards the upside, which was the most obvious move in the market, and that is what I wanted to trade towards the upside. That trade was in a little profit of approximately $1,000, and then eventually got stopped out, which is pretty normal with those big candles towards the downside. That is why we use a really good stop loss and a risk management, because we can't be always right in the market. So I've been stopped out on that one, pretty transparent here. Then if we look right here, we need to hold this low. If we lose it, we will probably see more downside towards the lower side of this range, or even lower towards the $80,000. Right now we are at the yellow buying zone. We dumped all the way through it, and we are at the lower side right now. We really want to see buy orders getting here in the market, because if we don't get buy orders at this point right now, we will probably lose this low. And that will cause for a trend break towards the downside and also for some further momentum towards the downside. For now, it is pretty clear. I'm not trading right now because the price has been falling pretty hard. We are at an interesting level in the market. For me to enter a trade, I really want the Bitcoin price to break above the 91.2k. If we pump towards that upside and break this level towards the upside, I want to trade it back towards the $93,000. If we pump towards the upside and reject this level towards the downside, we can open up a short position because that isn't really good for Bitcoin. So this line is a really interesting line in the market. If we break it towards the upside, we can trade this move towards the upside for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin managed to reject this level, we can short this level towards the downside. That is my game plan right now, but I really want to see some really big confluences in the market because price is dropping heavily and I really want to see confirmations of a trend shift before entering a position because the trend is down for now on the hourly time frame. So I really want to shift towards the upside before opening up a trade because I never want to trade against the trend. That's really important. But if things unfold on the market, I will keep you posted over on my X page, in my free Telegram group with the first link in the description, and of course here over on my YouTube channel. So please make sure to follow me over on those socials to never miss the next move in the market. For now, it is a rating game, which is really important for trading, but it can change really fast. And if setups unfold throughout the day, I will keep you posted over on those socials. If you want to trade those moves by yourself, please make sure to sign up on your favorite exchange to the link in the description. I will give every setup, every chance in the market. The only thing you need to do is find the best broker for yourself to trade on. And that is what we can do right here over on WeX and Blowfin. If you want to trade over on those brokers, please make sure to sign up through the second link and the third link in the description. Then, of course, we are dumping. We all know it. But really interesting and really important that if we're dumping, please zoom out because look at where we are right now. Yeah, we are dumping, but look at this major rally. We have been rallying towards the upside. Look at this chart. This chart has a really high confluence trend line level, which we are getting supported by right now. We have been breaking out of this head and shoulders pattern, inverse head and shoulders pattern. And right now we are currently retesting it. So if we look at those higher time frame charts, we can literally see that this is a really good buying opportunity for Bitcoin. Of course, on the lower side, we are not seeing the confluences to open up a trade yet, but always, if you hold spot, if you hold swing trades, please look at the higher time frames. And on the higher time frames, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin. On the lower time frame, we need to just have patience. But I really think in the upcoming months, Bitcoin will still pump towards new all-time highs here. And I've been saying that for over weeks here. Then also, if we look at some interesting on-chain data, we can actually see that Bitcoin has spent months lagging the equities, and that was a really important divergence we have been seeing in the market. But right now we are seeing that the relative strength versus the S&P 500 is starting to rebound, and this is a really interesting level. But the indices are dropping today as well. That could also mean that Bitcoin will dump any further towards the downside. But right now we see that the correlation is still starting to rebound. That is an interesting level because indices has been very bullish over the past few weeks. And historical speaking, this shift appears before the Bitcoin-led macro moves and not after them. So this is a really interesting point because rotation can begin very quickly and the leadership changes really fast. And if Bitcoin managed to gain the leadership once again, We have seen in the past that Bitcoin started to explode towards the upside. Every single time we hit such low levels, that was when the Bitcoin bottom stopped and when the price started to move towards the upside. We have seen it right over here, a peak towards the downside, bam, move towards the upside, right over here, a peak towards the downside, bam, move towards the upside, right over here, a peak towards the downside, bam, move towards the upside, and right here we are seeing it once again. So this is also a really good signal for Bitcoin. Lower time frame, we need to just have patience before opening up any trades to not get wrecked in this price action. But on the higher time frames, I'm still so very bullish, and also right here I'm buying pretty big amounts of spots at the $90,000, but I really think that the $130,000 is inevitable for Bitcoin, and that will cause for a major surge towards the upside for the Bitcoin price of $40,000. That is approximately 50%. So that is exactly what I am trading on Bitcoin. Higher time frame, really good. Lower time frame, patience. Ending with that, please make sure to follow me over on X and subscribe over on my YouTube channel if you love those daily updates video. And I will see you tomorrow by a brand new Crypto Daily Update video.